Uh, Good afternoon. Sanele from the National Lotteries Commission, the provincial manager for KwaZulu-Natal of the National Lotteries Commission. I would like to congratulate the Heritage Development Trust for the good work that they have done over the years. The National Lotteries Commission is fully behind the Heritage Development Trust for acknowledging all the good work that is done by the stalwarts that are all around in different sectors. I'm glad to have been part of this very important work that Professor Musa Kulu is doing with the organization to uphold particularly our heritage as a province and as a country. The people that are being awarded and acknowledged have done very well for the country, and they are benefiting the country in terms of their in-depth knowledge. I would have not done justice if I don't acknowledge Ubaba, Prince Mangosuthu Buthelezi in our midst, and the other professors and the doctors that are in our midst for the good work and the contribution that they've made to make the history of South Africa as beautiful as it looks. I can see Ubaba Ungangelele sitting there. There is already a library behind him. That's the extent of the knowledge that he has and that he has shared with the country. So it would have not been just for me not to mention particularly him in this one. But most importantly, the National Lotteries Commission is fully behind such initiatives of heritage, arts, culture, tourism, and environment, because we believe that South Africa is rich in those areas, particularly the heritage part. We as a Zulu nation, if I were to be specific, we've got a lot of history that needs to be shared. And we believe our identity becomes very important for generations. So documenting and ensuring that such initiatives from the Heritage Development Trust is documented will go a long way in terms of ensuring that we do not disappear as a nation and we stand proud, because it becomes important that generations to come know exactly where we come from and where we've been, so that they also uphold our traditions, culture, and the work that has been done. I would like also to mention that the National Lottery, led by the Commissioner Umamu Charlotte Mampane and the board, they have made sure that they keep us in line, in check as administration staff, to ensure that we visit all the districts, particularly in KZN, and dig very deep in terms of this information. Now, Professor Musa Kulu has been very handy, particularly in my case, to ensure that I reach the depth of the province in terms of the knowledge that needs to be shared with the country. Thank you very much to Prof. Thank you very much to Heritage Development Trust. The National Lotteries Commission will always be behind this initiative, but I must also mention that it doesn't only end with the sector of arts, culture, heritage, environment, and tourism. We also are in the charities space. We look at charity initiatives, including particularly the gender-based violence in the current call in particular. We wanted to ensure that programs that have to do with gender-based violence, we support them and make sure we spread the word across the country to ensure that such a pandemic, because I would like to call it as a disaster as well on its own, that nothing of such persists in our country. We are also very strong in the sports sector. We fund sporting codes across the spectrum, be it cricket, rugby, soccer, tennis, netball, boxing, and all different kinds of sporting codes. We also fund a lot of infrastructure related sports projects. We are very strong in the education sector as well. We fund schools for the arts programs in the schools. So the National Lotteries Commission is all around the country ensuring that we deliver on our mandate. But our mandate number one, we are a regulator before we are a fund distributor. Now, mostly we get asked, what do you regulate? We regulate the lottery in the country as mandated by the National Lotteries Act, which is an act of parliament of 1997, as amended in 2015. So we regulate the lottery sector in the country. We ensure that as per the license, all the license conditions are implemented accordingly by the lottery operator and by all the fundraising initiatives in the country, that our people are not exploited. The lottery is played with the responsibility that is supposed to be, so that no one is taken advantage of by all these fundraising organizations that are in the country. So the National Lotteries Commission is there for that. So we are proud to say we have managed to assist our communities to play the lottery with the responsibility that it should be. And we have also ensured that we raise enough funds to support different initiatives through the non-profit organizations and the non-profit companies and public benefit trust across the country. So Professor Xulu and the Heritage Development Trust, I take my hat off for the good work that you've done, and I wish you well and ensure you that for as long as you are doing the heritage related work, and for as long as you are in the arts space, the National Lotteries Commission commits that we will provide the support whenever is available. Thank you very much. Please, let's make sure that we adhere to all the COVID-19 regulations as stipulated in the country. Let's make sure that we maintain the social distancing as stipulated in the regulations, and let's sanitize and wear our mask as we have been directed. Thank you very much.
For the award, Liberation Heritage, has led the liberation heritage through peaceful means, advocating peace, reconciliation, education, and development for way over 60 years in South African thought. I bring to you Dr. Malusi.
Principal, you can speak, Baba.
What?
We're ready to hear you speak. You are on mute. Principal Selezi, we are ready to hear you speak.
I beg your pardon?
They'd like to hear you speak. They'd like to.
Thank you. The Board of Directors of the Heritage Development Trust, under the leadership of the Chairperson, Dr. SCB Xulu, Executive Director of the Trust, the Reverend Professor M.K. Xulu, the MEC for Transport Communities Safety and Liaison, the Honorable Mr. Peggy Ntuli, Provincial Manager for the National Lotteries Commission, Mr. Sanele Dlamini, representing the National Commissioner, Mrs. Mampane, all recipients of the House of Shaka Ihlabane Awards, and distinguished supporters of our cultural heritage. I feel enormously privileged this afternoon not only to accept the African Leadership Award, but to be among such exceptional men and women who in their lifetime have enriched the inheritance of our nation. The awards they've been bestowed today speak of exceptional creativity, academic excellence, intellectualism, and leadership. I think we can be proud, indeed, of such a rich heritage. I feel I must begin by thanking the Office of the MEC for Transport, Community Safety and Liaison, as well as the National Lotteries Commission for funding these awards. This year, as a member of parliament, I've witnessed the prioritizing of budgets in all government departments in order to allocate funds to relief efforts and the fight against COVID-19. There are several severely limited resources available and many worthy causes competing for funding. I'm pleased that this one has been funded, for it is important that we continue to celebrate achievements even as we fight a pandemic. Indeed, celebrating achievement is a wonderful way to remind ourselves of our support, of overcoming, and of our inherent resilience. It encourages us to believe that we can survive this challenge as we have survived every other challenge before it. In fact, with every challenge that we have faced as a country, since achieving democracy in 1994, we have reminded ourselves of our past accomplishment and have taken courage. We overcame unspeakable trauma and hardship, and we live to tell the tale. Out of the mire of apartheid, we birthed a nation that knows freedom, human rights, equality, and justice. It is worth reminding ourselves again of what we have achieved, and we have faced the present challenges of economic distress, gender-based violence, and growing radicalism. When the Heritage Development Trust informed me that I would be receiving an award, I was delighted, because 3 years ago, I accepted a posthumous award on behalf of my late mother, Princess Makoko Zulu, for a legacy as a singer, a musician, and a composer. While I have loved choral music all my life, having grown up around my mother, I know that I will never win an award in that category. It is thus good to know that the House of Shaka Isaban Awards also recognize leadership. Since I was installed as Inkosi of the Buthelezi clan in 1953, I have found myself in various leadership roles for some 67 years. From representing our diocese of the Anglican Congress in Toronto in 1963, to serving as the acting president of the Republic of South Africa several times under President Mandela and under President Mbeki. I've fulfilled a variety of leadership responsibilities. In every role, I've carried the same principles and expressed the same vision. I've sought peace, reconciliation, education, and development. Whether I was trying a case in the Buthelezi courthouse or trying to persuade heads of state that I've met over the years in Africa and in Europe and America to support liberation. I strongly believe in integrity. And to me, integrity demands consistency. When one is tossed to and fro on the winds of political expediency, then integrity suffers. That's when I committed to building on the principles of the 1912 founding fathers of the South African National Native Congress, later ANC. I knew that I would never deviate from those principles, regardless of what it cost me. My own uncle, Dr. Pixley Kaisaka Seme, founded the African National Congress. For me, committing to the principles he espoused was deeply personal. Over the course of several decades, I would be challenged on this principle, vilified for upholding them, and isolated by my own political leaders in our movement. I recount these events of my history because I know that the men and women who are being honored today have not reached such great heights easily. Each one of them has faced personal trials and obstacles, and each one has retained a vision that they set before themselves daily. It is not surprising that countless studies have tried to discover what exactly is different about individuals who attain success. Are they smarter, more resilient, better able to adapt? Is faith simply on their side? Or do they possess a character trait that sets them apart? I do not pretend to have the answer, but I do know one thing, that every successful person has in common that they did not give up. Many, many times along the road of my life, I've wanted to give up, but I do not think I've ever seriously considered it. There was too much at stake. It was never just about me and what I wanted out of life. It was always about the greater good and about attaining a goal on behalf of those who were suffering, who were struggling, and were dispossessed. I think the same thing drives the men and women who have received the House of Shaka Awards today. Whether they worked for the sake of peace, or for the sake of furthering research, or for the sake of preserving a heritage, they have committed to a goal that is outside of themselves. It is not about their own character, but about the love of their chosen field. My own love of education, which I've advocated all my life, was instilled as a young student under the mentorship of leaders like the Inkosi, Albert Mvumbi Luthuli, and Professor Z.K. Matthews. I was taught to believe that education is a tool of liberation, whether one seeks freedom from oppression or freedom from ignorance. I understood during our liberation struggle that education had to be prioritized so that when we inherited the liberated country, we would be ready to administer its governance and resources. This is why I plowed into education in KwaZulu when I served as chief minister. It is why we built more than 6,000 classrooms when the apartheid regime produced little more than a shoestring budget to KwaZulu. It is also why I opposed the call that emanated from my movement through the ANC Mission Exile to burn down schools and make South Africa ungovernable. When the slogan, "Liberation now, education later," reverberated across our country, I juxtaposed it with the slogan, "Education for Liberation." While many Black students abandoned their classrooms and burned their books, in KwaZulu, we kept schools open and kept preparing a generation for the future we're fighting for. I have no regrets. When liberation came, those who were educated in KwaZulu schools became the lawyers, the teachers, the nurses, the professors, the journalists, and administrators who built our young democracy. I never care, even when I know that most of them do not recognize my role in contributing to their own achievements. That is the reason why I built many teacher training colleges in every region of the province. That is why under my first cousin, His Majesty King Cyprian Peguzulu, Nyangayizizwe Solomoni, and Amakosi, we supported the University of Zululand when there were voices that said that it should not be supported because it was a tribal college or Bush University. That is why I ended up as the longest serving chancellor of the University of Zululand for 21 years. Today, I'm proud that, for example, the Chief Justice of this country and the Deputy Chief Justice are graduates during the 21 years that I was Chancellor of the university that was called a tribal college. There were, of course, consequences for my opposition to the ANC's strategy. A rift sadly opened between me and my leaders in the ANC when I refused to participate in the ANC's armed struggle and opposed the call for international sanctions and disinvestments against South Africa. But I could not support any strategy that would reduce my country to ashes or damage the economy we sought to inherit. For more than 15 years, I was vilified and isolated, both by the apartheid regime for challenging the East's legitimacy and by the ANC and UDF for refusing to toe the line. But I could not abandon my principles. I had committed to non-violence, to peaceful resistance, and to building our country's future. To me, that was more important than my own comfort or reputation. Tragically, the ANC's People's War was turned against Inkatha, igniting a spiral of violence, counter-violence, preemptive violence, and revenge. If some 20,000 Black lives were lost, throughout it all, I pleaded for peace. Even now, 26 into democracy, I plead for peace. Reconciliation has never been completed between the ANC and the IFP. It is something I'm pursuing even now. for I know that my days are numbered, and when I'm gone, the wound will be much harder to heal. Having committed my entire life to peace, reconciliation, education, development, I'm humbled to be part of today's event from the Heritage Development Trust. It seems uniquely fitting that these awards are bestowed for keeping the spirit of the rule of the House of King Shaka alive. I'm a descendant, of course, you know, from King Pande, a brother of King Shaka, through my mother, Princess Makoko Dinizulu. I come therefore from the House of King Shaka. As such, I have a deep appreciation for the cultural heritage of the Zulu nation. I therefore wish to thank the Reverend Professor Musa Ikolo and the Heritage Development Trust. On behalf of my nation, I wish to thank all our talented champions of Zulu culture who are working to preserve and promote our heritage. Finally, to all who have had a part in the celebration, I thank you.
Mm.